It's cold, 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 cold. Let's talk clarity. How cold is it? Well, I'm in Florida and it snowed in Tallahassee. Yes, it did. Not just snowed and disappeared. You know how the beautiful flakes just land on your skin and it's no more if it snows? No, we ain't talking about that. We talking about slush. Slush on the ground. Like a slushy. That was all over the ground in Tallahassee, Florida. All right. So that's a good thing. You know why I say that? Because it's a good morning and it's cold. And truly, I do know that when it's cold, people calm down. They have a little bit more calmness. And that is not everybody. Some people are just wild, period. And whether it's cold, freezing cold, they do what they do. Okay? So, moving on, I'm a New Yorker. I was born in New York. And also, I am proud to say I have my family history very clear. And I'm not going to start no argument. I already know some of you people that's watching who are my friends. You know, y'all like to love me and also love to hate me. And I don't know why. Probably because, all of us, because I probably do it too, we look for what's wrong. And I'm going to tell you right now, looking at this screen, listening to me, you can find a lot of things wrong, but it doesn't also mean that it's actually something that is important. How important is it? When you look for what's wrong with someone, right? What is it that we look at? Everybody's different. Sometimes we could look at someone and they don't look like us, and we find something wrong with that. Um, whether it's a style, whether it's something that is um, an acquired, taste, style. No, I'm not that at all. I'm not a type. Okay, I don't want to be bound up and so disencouraged that of my life, of myself, to where I'm worrying about the people that I look at and talk to, and they have no emotions whatsoever, just frozen. I have no idea that I would even stir in that. I mean, who would I be? Where on this earth do someone live like that? You got to be so caught up about people and what they're thinking about what's wrong with you. No, if people aren't able to understand that connecting with people is far more just greater than these places, live, social media. It does turn out for some people to be very supportive. And that is not something that is asked for. You know, if that was the case, then when you have good friendships and relationships, all that it takes for people to get to know each other and be able to have open conversations, it's all attached to kindness, good communication, okay, honesty, truth. Sometimes, not always, but that's on TV. But in real life, people have to speak and be able to communicate and use their feelings. The greatness of that is the luxury of it all. There's a luxury to relationships, friendships, family, good relatives. Okay. And I'm going to stay there. We could talk about those that aren't so good, friends and family, but they're categorized. We have friends that we can't invite over to each other's homes. But they're our friends. They're the friend that we can go somewhere out in the world and everything is great. They're just not the person that you want in your home. And what I mean by that is that if you go out in the world, you get busy. You do things. You do stuff for pleasure, entertainment, excitement, being out in the air, whether it's vacation, traveling, shopping, all those wonderful things, right? And some of you partying, drinking, all those things, right? That doesn't go on in everybody's houses. People have freedom of what they want to do, who they want to do it with. It doesn't mean that it's coming up in my own home. And I'm pretty sure that it's so many of you that can get where I'm coming from. There's so many people that also can get where I'm coming from. And what I'm pointing to is there are people that you can have in your home and you can enjoy them and it won't be no drama. None of that you see on Love and Hip Hop, the so-called reality, their realities that they create that are fake. Reality doesn't even have to be real because even where I am right now, I'm faking. I'm faking because I'm saying, okay, what am I talking about? I am talking about having relationships to where you don't have to worry about the numbers. Who, how many, that's not important. Because I'm going to tell you, I traveled to one of my hometowns. And when I went there, those people that was there and the ones that I visited, it was pleasant. There's so many people that I didn't get a chance to see. And I spent like almost a week. Okay. And it was, in New York. And coming from Florida, and I've been here for over how long? I think I've been here for like 13 years or something like that. Okay. So I am a resident here now. It's not been I'm leaving. I have moved. I just moved into a new place and, you know, inflation and things, how the prices and everything, you have to, I don't care who you are. I don't care how much money you have. You have to have a budget. And I had to do a rebudget. And it feels good. But with all that being said, I visited my hometown, one of my hometowns. And I did it because I wanted to see a family member and I wanted to play my role as a grandmother. I'm a nana. I'm a nana to beautiful baby girls, and they're not, in kindergarten. They're not in diapers. And I enjoy their company. But honestly, we have a relationship on Zoom. Okay, on Zoom and texting, on video. And with that being said, it's not the same. The babies, my granddaughters ran me for my money. They ran me for my feelings. They ran me for my own understanding as a mother. And it tells you about who you are because they were having a ball. And I've always been the one that just as long as children aren't hurting themselves physically or hurting each other by doing things that aren't nice, I'm good. I love to hear children laughing. And even when you have to give them direction or redirect them, you want to do it in a way that give them the opportunity to make their own decision. And me as the mother, to learn as the grandmother, to learn as a mother or even father, to learn who your children are emotionally, mentally, physically, spiritually. Why teach our children to be like these reality shows, these fake concepts of social media? We have to get them from the bud, from diapers all the way up. Else they're just going to be little narcissists that expect to get their food brought to them, that expect them to be able to get what makes them look so cute, so handsome. The utmost exaggerated version that we have to give our children when we're training them for the world, for life, love, living experiences, experimentals, protecting their own self from chaos, cognitive dissonance, things that hurt, things that feel too good, things that don't make no sense. And it starts from, the nose, the mouth, the eye, the ears, the feel. And I'm going to tell you, as a grandmother, you ain't always going to be there. I'm not one of those grandmothers that I live in the house with my children. I didn't live in the home with my own parents. I was on my own, okay? And when you're in a relationship and your partner, your hubby, your children's father or your woman, and you guys are living on your own, that's a whole different chapter. It's not about how you were raised. It's about who you are and how you're going to do, right? And all the fantasy, all the strawberries and the clouds and the angels and the spirit of joy, happiness, momentum, all that, learning life itself, it comes all over again on repeat. So, in so many words, my grandchildren, they're the mother and father aren't together. And it has been a very different type of feel for me because I lived with my mother and father, okay? And I ain't never really believed in single parenting. But for what it is very popular. It definitely has changed. And I mean, for all times. I mean, people don't stay together. They have to learn how to co-parent. We didn't call it co-parenting. We didn't call nothing co-parenting. I mean, back in the day, what I did understand, we had the Addams family. You know what I'm saying? Next door. And everybody was in that family but the mother and father. People was raising each other. And if it wasn't people raising each other, it was something else raising them. Something other than even TV. Okay, and I'm not going to go there. Because my life, I think, even with my mothers and father, and I say mothers because, we didn't have babysitters. Okay. We had godmothers that would stand in, if I wasn't there with mom, I was with the other mama or the other mother. You know what I'm saying? And they all was together on one accord. So if I have forgotten that I had a babysitter, I don't remember that babysitter, but I remember my children having daycare and babysitters. And let me tell you, I had the best mother for my children, for their daycare, for their babysitting, or how can I say it? It wasn't even that. It was their provider, their daycare provider. And these were women with they were seasoned. They weren't the type of women that, like a daycare, like it's, a little place where you got to entertain them. They actually was, getting home loving care, the feel of a mother and the undivided attention. It wasn't other people and a bunch of other kids, even with my own mother, my children, got to experience them. And as it is so far and so placed, there's so many realms of life of how people are because, for what I do understand, I have friends and family that they had to go to school, a boarding school, and they had parents that didn't have time. They were making money and they had to go live in a boarding school. You know what I'm saying? Actually, like, live there. So anyway, that was back in the day, and that was definitely not in the United States. But these were friends of mine that I grew up with. So moving forward, my visit to New York was beautiful. I've met some younger women that are in the beginning of their careers, and they're taking on so much because they're taking care of people that are in, facilities that are, for healing, that are treating their illnesses. And it takes a lot of love and care and patience and intelligence to be a medical health provider. And sometimes, with that being said, you know, it's it's so much that I could say to those who are actually going to these education facilities to become nurses, to become doctors, and actually want to really, really do something with that and care about people. Because sometimes what I have learned maybe about 5 years back, 10 years back, about 10 years back, people weren't becoming nurses. And I'm just going to say nurses. I'm not going to say nurses and doctors. I do know a few doctors that, they are doctors, but there's different kind of doctors. Because I can say I'm a doctor, but I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about hospitalization, healthcare, health and wellness. So moving forward, triage, emergencies, heart, death, you know, you have to be a nurse that does all those type of things. People going to their graves. And with that being said, that is one heck of a job. And I've met some people that are really wonderful. They have children and they're doing just great with themselves. Um, and sometimes it take, you got to be a tough cookie, in order to be sitting in those chairs, standing in that lane. You have to be also very loving, very kind, and your energy, let's talk about that. Your energy always have to be up on point, okay? There's no time for judgment, and I made that face because it's an energy, it's a look. There's no time for not caring, and I wish this person shut the hell up. It comes from a place where a person just is exceeded themselves, that have so much light that it can be felt. That it can be felt. A frequency. You see, we aren't human beings that just bone and flesh. We actually are frequencies. And what we actually sense and use in this world is frequencies. Everything is a frequency to me. And it's been like that forever. I just even enjoyed years ago when, social media was getting popular. Some people that I am still friends with, they had no idea about frequency. They had no idea about manifestation, any of that. And it's so nice for it to be what it is. You have to switch and change. Life is that. If you don't change, the universe will change things for you, because depending on your frequency, hey, you're still in this experience, behind your eyes. You are who you are. Who is that behind your eyes? So as I'm speaking and talking about my trip to New York, I had not been there for like maybe 5, no, wrong. I made a trip prior to that, a few months back. And I went to New York, and that trip wasn't fun like this one. I didn't go to see my grandchildren. I did go see one of my best friends. And I enjoyed that. We enjoyed ourselves. And yeah, we were around children. Those children were great because, we're all connected. We have frequencies to where we are what we draw, and who we are is the people that we sometimes meet and we get close to, family and friends. So that was a nice trip. And then, visiting other family members. Everything ain't peachy keen. I'm going to just say that. Everything ain't always peaches and cream. Um, I watch people, I think about our friends and family, and I have this thing to where I used to tell certain people when they have such a pleasant personality and they're so kind, don't ever change. Don't ever change. Stay exactly the way that you are because you're a beautiful person. And you could see people living in their abundance. We all change. We all grow. We all, get different positions. We come into greatnesses. You know what I mean? We get married. We get divorced. But don't change if you have a great personality and you loving your life. You loving yourself. And you just look at people, and it's not always about this. You ever walk towards someone and it's not just that you want to be around them because you got something to say? You just actually want to sit with them. You just actually can sit, and time could go 5 minutes, 10 minutes. And it's just strength, presence, awareness, and stillness. And then if something come up, it's just really amazing, right? The connection is just like a breath of fresh air, a breath of fresh air. And that is luxury. That is luxury. There's some people that they're beautiful and you could talk to, but it doesn't feel the same. It feels like something is expecting. Certain things have to be talked about. And it doesn't have to be anything that you actually feel comfortable talking about or find worth talking about. That's not luxury. That's poorness. That's like being, you know, you know, like you see something fly, like a fly on shit. Excuse my language, but that's me. I have to be myself. So good morning. I went to New York, and I can go on and on and on. And ain't nothing wrong with me because I can hold the conversation for about 20 minutes, half an hour. But I do know my subject. I know the story and what I'm given as far as insight. And those of you who can draw pictures in your imagination and see things, help me out here. I went on this wonderful chain, and I used JetBlue, and it was great. I'm used to using Southwest. I'm used to using other airlines, but there's one airline that I said to myself, I'm not going back on that airline. I don't know what it is, but it just don't feel the same. And I promise, from the time that I'm like loading up, and the people, and just it's like a disorder or like a lot of fear. My plane ride coming back, it was cold. It was Wednesday. It was a weather alert. And I'm telling you, it was like I was riding a camel. Okay? It was just really like a lot of turbulence, and it was peaceful on that plane. The babies were a bit uncomfortable, of course. And even, the people that I was sitting with, one woman was scared, and she didn't necessarily grab my hand, but she closed her eyes, and I was telling her, just breathe, just count. And I was helping her, put your earphones in, listen, find a movie, find something that you can draw good energy on. It doesn't have to be a movie. It could be a documentary. It could be some music. It could be any of that. And that's what she did. It was nice to be able next to a total stranger, but you can see your own people, your own self, your own relative that you knew that, sitting right there. And no, she was not my relative. You know what I mean? And even the girl next to me, trust me, I didn't know her from a can of paint. And literally, and y'all have to excuse me because I definitely was about to start talking a little patois. And I'm just speaking my straight English. I'm good at that. I like it. But I will switch up, and don't ever think that it's a personality something, okay? Because I can speak a couple of different, of my lineage, where I come from. So, and that is another conversation. But back to being on the plane, the young lady that I sat with to the right of me, she was just quiet and peaceful watching whatever she was watching. And she was in her bag and she was eating. I mean, it was just snack food. I don't know what she had in that bag, but I felt kind of funny. I was like, I should have really had myself together and brought me a whole bunch of whatever. Because whoever packed her something, it was like, back in the day when we used to travel, we used to have, our mothers and what am I talking about? Maybe like even 14 years ago when I moved down here, my neighbors had made us a whole packed of so much food. And, it was like a ritual of love, of appreciation. We miss you. We love you. We're going to, we want you to be safe and comfortable and easy. And that's exactly what she had. And it was just nice to sit there. And what movie did I watch? I watched, my choice of movie was Little Mermaid. And trust me, I didn't watch that movie from the beginning because they had problems with the girl being a black girl, and it was so much stuff. And sometimes I enjoy animation movies more than I enjoy movies and reality shows. I will plug into a kids movie, or it doesn't necessarily have to be a kids movie, but family friendly. Anyway, moving on. Um, that ride was rough. I wasn't scared at all. I know I was having flashes of, damn, I'm all the way here. Is this, first class, last class, middle class? Even if we in first class, if this plane go down, it don't matter what class we in. I don't think while you wonder is, when you pay for your seat's honor, is it the ones that pay less? Let me get it right. That the very chance of something happened on the plane, they ain't gonna make it. And the ones that play a certain type of plane, if they pay for it and it's just luxury, if the plane go down, are they guaranteed they're gonna make it? So those things anyway come to my mind, right? And I just let it go because at the same time, even we were my thing is, even though there was a weather alert, the people that, before we even loaded the plane, I started thinking to myself, like, oh, this is going to be a nice flight, because even in, tension and stress, people working together, it was a couple, they had two beautiful, 1, 2, 3 babies and a grown teenager. And one of the little babies had a Gatorade, and they was just drinking it, and he ain't looked like he was feeling too good. And next thing you know, he just, everything came up, and it's just all over the place, all over the mom's purse, all over the baby, everywhere, the floor, everything. And the father immediately started, and she didn't know what to do because this is in the airport. The bathrooms are way over there, so she had to run over there to get towels. Nobody had no bottle of water but me, and I had some napkins, and the lady next to me had some things. So we're all chipping in trying to help this and situation. And it was worse because, like, the teenager, she turned her back totally to her brother that was throwing up. And it's just immediately just trying to clean that up. But the evidence of it all, and the point that I'm making, is that everybody besides that family was trying to help. And the good news is that even behind me, something told me to turn around. And the maintenance guy was right there where the garbage was. And I talked to him, pointed pointed out what was going on, and he immediately jumped on it. It wasn't no attitude. It wasn't like, I don't speak no English. I don't know what you're talking about. It was like, thank you. Oh, sure. Let me take care of that. But here I am in Florida. I'm going to be honest with you. People's attitude is shit compared to, I love my New York. I'm going to always have my New York frequency, y'all. And I don't think it's New York. I think it's about altitude, attitude, whether gratitude, aptitude. All those tudes is like whatever they was tuned into. And sometimes you could see misery and, people spill a little something and person cleaning up and you can hear them just saying, oh, nothing but pigs. Nothing but pigs. And they just clean. Well, if that stuff wasn't down and you ain't have nothing to clean up and everybody cleans up after themselves, you probably wouldn't have a job or So just think about that. And my own point was that guy that I got to help that family, he was so pleasant. And this is an ongoing thing. This wasn't just this experience. But I knew that once we got on that plane, the way everybody was just so pleasant, the energy, I was like, I wasn't thinking about no weather, alert, whether the plane was going to take off or whether we was going to have problems. It wasn't even in my mind. So that's a good thing. That's definitely a good thing, and I had got word that somebody had got COVID. And while I was visiting, I didn't get to see everybody, but some people that I did see, they've been going through. They've been drinking cups, big old cups of stress. I mean, with the big straw, just slurping up stress. And no matter what you can say, no matter how good you can let someone know that even when you're not feeling at your best, even when you're speaking your truth and it's about some mess, you can always be calm. Because if you have to raise your voice and get so loud because you feel like you're not being heard, that's an emotional tragedy against the self. Why stress yourself out like that? If someone's not understanding you where you're coming from, why you got to keep on talking to explain yourself? Stressing it. Going in a circle, a merry-go-round. And literally, personally, for myself, I don't like that. I don't have a problem with cutting people off. I don't have a problem with signing out and doing something different that match the frequency, like the color of my eyes, that I know exactly what color my eyes is. Okay, this is not a filter. Let's talk clarity. I can be both. I can make up the face. Okay, I can put a filter on and it might make the bridge of my nose a little bit more or what. I just like that thing to where it just, might smooth out. I might even want to take my mold off, play with it. There's nothing wrong with that, but, with the connection of truth, it ain't always having to be like that. Back in the day, my mother used to say, why do people wear stage makeup, in the daytime like that? There's a thing to where when people are on the stage and lighting is there and they're performing, they have to make themselves look a different way because the light and the darkness, hey, that is actually scientific fact of contrast. So as I'm speaking about my experience, I could speak on different levels and not feel any way. And for people that's looking for something wrong, what is it that you think I'm doing to just talk clarity and trying to win over something? No, I'm already a winner. You're already a winner. We're just basically, I'm making the best out of social media page. You know what I'm saying? I see what it is. Some people, we got everything going on, and I'm gradually getting into it. You understand? I am basically taking this walk because I can cut up. I can cut up to a point to where I can tell you some truth. I went to the movies with my granddaughters, and I had two of them, right? All right. And this is some truth right here. Let's talk clarity. There's one older and there's one a bit younger. I took both of them. We went to go see Wicked. Love the movie, y'all. And there were certain things in the back of what I have been seeing before I saw the movie because of the actresses. It's something a little, I'm wondering if they need, therapy, with the way I look at certain things very deep, but we ain't getting deep. We're going back to my granddaughters. I took them to the movies, and when I say they tested me to the best of the best of the best, they tested me. I was sitting in there just like this. And I actually had to get to a point to where I was telling them, we don't have to see this movie. We can go. Because, it was like, they on the rainbow, the people saying, sure, quit talking, went to the bathroom 3 or 4 times, and I didn't. Let's go. You got to go to the bathroom. Let's go. Shh, be quiet. We can leave. I don't want to tell you guys to be quiet no more. Sit down. Sit down. Come here. Do I need to split you guys up the whole time? This is what it is. It happens. I've been in a movie theater with my children, not my grandchildren, to where I've had to wonder why the kids in the back, in the dark, is just running their mouth and they can't shut up. They can't be quiet. They can't lay their gums down. And nobody's saying nothing. Well, I was that person with the kids, with the children. And their little lights are so beautiful. I can't complain about them because they are stars of their own show. And they definitely had their own show going on. And they didn't care about Wicked. They did and they didn't. It was one that was saying, don't cry. Don't cry. It was crying going on in the movie. So they was just talking to the screen, encouraging who they, the imagination of everything. And the little baby was just saying, my little granddaughter, don't cry. Please, don't cry. Whatever you do, I just don't want you to. She's talking to the screen. She's loud. The other one was just like, we about to do anything. I don't care for this movie. I'm a talk, I'm a giggle, I'm a poke, I'm a wrestle. I'm a wrestle in the movie. She was wrestling with my other granddaughter in the movie. So with that being said, it didn't even stop. She didn't want to see my sister. She wanted to stay in the car. The funny thing is, I bought in snacks. And when I said the type of snacks that we got, I expected some snacks would have went back home. No, I think I blinked and gotten to one of the scenes in the movie for about 5 minutes. And I only had 2 children with me, not 6. But it was enough snacks in there for a party of 6. Because I wanted options. They took the bag and within a few minutes, everything was gone. Got gone. And to a point to where I said, somebody gonna get sick. Somebody gonna get sick. And lo and behold, the little one got sick. She threw up. She just let it out. And she aimed it down on the floor. And okay, I had to go to work. I had to do my job. Everything was okay. She wasn't ready to leave. So we stayed for the movie. Okay? The other one was just over it. Not because of the movie, but, she don't pay attention to things too good. And when we went to go see my sister, she just told me, she said, I'm ready to go home. I'm ready to go home and I'm tired. And I want to eat. And we were in a storm. We were dropping off the youngest. Because if you take a map, you're going to go from where you're going to the closest to the next. And it's like one big circle. So if we would have took my oldest one home, it would have been like going in circles twice, bypassing everybody, including their little sister, because they don't live together, including her little sister, bypassing the gas station, bypassing my sister. okay, and just taking her home. And guess what? It just don't work like that. So she got a little attitude, right? And she's been like that. She's been like that. When she don't get her way, she's ready to go home. When she want what she want, and it's not good enough, and she got something else she got to say, and what she got to say ain't got nothing to do with grandma, she's ready to go home. So with that being said, I had to tell her, I said, it's not going to work like that. And she just, I'm ready to go. I'm ready to go. I'm ready to go. And I said, okay, you're going to go home. But guess what? Your sister gets to go home first because it's only 2 minutes up the street. And then we're going to go and do, I just told her what the plan was. Well, she got a little attitude. And by the time we got to my sister's house, in her mind, she was like, I'm not communicating. I'm not participating. I'm going to sit here with myself closed out. And since I couldn't get my way, I don't care to see who those people are. Don't want to know them. They ain't seen her since she was a baby in diapers. And I felt away. I felt really like, wow, I felt really bad because my sister was like, oh, and she's not coming inside. She's just going to stay out there. And it's cold. It's not like she could get out and smell the flowers and be in the yard. It was in the cold. She was letting me have it. And literally, if I want to go on a professional site to say what that was, rebellious, being mean. I'm not going to even mention, I don't feel like she was being disrespectful. I just saw the meanness of it, and I want to know. Deep in my heart, I'm like, well, where did you learn that from? And I could think about it, but it's not